So today we're going to start the digestive system. The end of the chapter we'll look at nutrition and things like that. So the first section will deal with digestion, all the parts of your digestive system, the organs and things like that. So digestion itself has two parts, mechanical and chemical. Mechanical is the actual breaking down into pieces. Chemical is the breakdown of food so that nutrients can actually be absorbed. So it's changing it from a large carbohydrate into a simple sugar or something like that. So the digestive system's process, its job is to carry out digestion to break things down. Digestive system consists of the alimentary canal, which is basically the whole thing. So the alimentary canal would start at the opening of your mouth and end at the opening of your anus, and it would be every tube and organ that goes in between. So the alimentary canal is the long system or long structure where everything in the digestive system goes through. So if I start on this side, here's the alimentary canal. Food comes into the mouth. That's where mechanical digestion takes place. I like this diagram, it's very good. Mechanical digestion begins. Your teeth break things into smaller pieces. Chemical digestion also begins for carbohydrates. Your saliva helps to break down carbohydrates. So there's an amylase, there's an enzyme, it's going to start breaking down carbs. Then it's going to go through the pharynx to the esophagus, and that's going to move food down into your stomach. So this is still part of the alimentary canal. Food's going to go pass through your stomach into your small intestine, loop all around your small intestine. Then it is going to go into your large intestine, up around, come down, go through the rectum, which is basically just the ending of your large intestine, and then out the anus. So that would be the entire alimentary canal. Accessory organs that help with digestion, your salivary glands that are located basically around the mouth area. They are going to secrete saliva. Liver is going to produce bile, which helps break down fats. People that have liver problems, sometimes fatty foods will bother them because that's the liver's function, is to break down fats. The gallbladder is a part in or inside of your liver. It stores bile, so excess bile. The pancreas is an accessory organ, and it produces enzymes that break down more carbs, probably, like insulin. Your pancreas is very important for insulin. Also keeps some pH balance through your pancreas also. So if I look at these, so here's that alimentary canal. If you take out the whole thing and spread it out, it's about 8 meters long. So even when we dissect cats and take out, sometimes we take out the small intestines, they are very long. So if you think of a meter stick, you have 8 meters on average. Taller person is going to be longer, shorter person is a little bit shorter. But you can see your small intestines make up a large amount of that. And your small intestines are wrapped back and forth. That's why we don't notice so much of that distance inside of our bodies. The wall of the alimentary canal has the same 4 layers throughout the entire length of it. There are variations due to what they secrete. So certain parts of your alimentary canal are going to secrete different things. The innermost layer, very important, is the mucosa layer. It's going to secrete mucus. Your digestive system needs mucus to help stuff move through very easily. So the inner layer is mucosa. It's lined with epithelial cells, and it surrounds the lumen, which is just the opening on the inside. The purpose of the mucosa, it protects the tissues, it prevents friction, things like that, helps with secretion and absorption. And then in some areas, this inner lining, the mucosa, has folds in it, and that folds increase the surface area. So like when my stomach is empty, those folds are folded up. And then when I eat a large meal, it allows for room for expansion. And then it also simply provides more surface area to absorb foods. So mucosa is inside. Moving on out, the next layer is submucosa. It is connective tissue, loose connective tissue, and its main function is that it's going to have the blood supply, it's going to have the lymph supply. It provides the nourishment through that blood. It brings oxygen and nutrients. So it nourishes the layers of the alimentary canal. And then the muscular layer on the outside, it has circular fibers, and then it has longitudinal fibers. So the circular fibers are going to squeeze, and then your longitudinal fibers run up and down, and they are going to squeeze the other direction. So with both of those muscles, it's going to push the food through the alimentary canal. So fourth layer, the outermost layer, is called serosa. It's visceral peritoneum. It protects everything underneath it. It secretes another fluid, a serous, more water-like fluid that keeps the canal from sticking to other tissues. So the mucosa secretes mucus that protects the inside of the alimentary canal. The serosa secretes serous fluid that protects the outside of the alimentary canal, so that when your small intestines are all bunched up and rubbing together, that there's not friction and it's not going to cause holes or openings or anything. Pictures, kind of a general, show some different things. We'll look at these more specifically in other diagrams. So what happens, the motor functions of the alimentary canal are, we need to mix stuff. We need to mix food with enzymes, saliva, fluids, and then we also need to propel. We need to keep that food moving. We don't want it to bunch up and stay inside our bodies because that will become toxic. So the mixing movements occur when these muscles contract rhythmically at the same time in small sections. Segmentation is what that's called. Aids in mixing by contracting and relaxing. So basically segmentation, you're going to have squeezing of different parts of that organ or that tube. Propelling movements are going to push that food forward and through the canal, and the motion that's used for that is called peristalsis, and you've maybe heard that word before. And that's also caused by a contraction and then a relaxation. So here's my esophagus, and I have food in my esophagus. So this area is going to squeeze and push the food down. Then the next area squeezes, and the next area squeezes, and the next area squeezes, pushing that food, propelling that food down the tube or through the organ. So here's kind of a better picture than just my hands. So here, if I have digesting material, I've eaten something, you can see how it's going to get squeezed. Here we're looking more at the mixing part. Here we're looking more at the mixing part. And you can see this is my stomach, and this is segmentation, where different parts of your stomach are going to contract and mix that food with your gastric juices so that it helps with chemical digestion. So both of these would deal with mixing. This would be your propelling. So it squeezes, it pushes, squeezes a little bit further and pushes, squeezes a little bit further, keeps that bolus of food moving through different parts of your body.